I'm Ray Alieri. I'm with 365 Data Centers. I have Walt Kuiper here. He's our sales director also with 365. Before I get started, we're new to this team, and so I'd like to just get a sense of the partners in the room, the kinds of businesses that you're in. Can you just raise your hand if you are first and foremost IP phone, IP telephony? Okay, great. And then managed services, kind of up the stack. Okay. What else? How about you guys? What?
I mean, we're pure sales agents, so
okay.
Where the money is, any product, service, go in there, trusted advisors, and find out what they want.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? All right. All right. Sounds great. Good. Well, let me start by saying a little bit about who we are not anymore. We, I think, are mostly known in South Florida for a long time as Host.net. And we're proud of that heritage, and a lot of folks had some great relationships with Host.net. But once 365 acquired Host, we made a tremendous amount of investment in both network and architecture to make sure that our capabilities were even more robust. So we're still trying to carry on the tradition of a very hands-on, one-stop shop place that Host.net had established in the marketplace and a trusted partner from that regard. But we now have significant and expanded capabilities that we want to talk to you about. And in the process, we also, and that's how we joined with Walt, we also have made several acquisitions. We made an acquisition of a company called AMC, and that gave us a pretty broad national footprint. So when you think of us, I'd like you to think of us as a network-centric cloud and colocation company. We can serve small customers, and we can serve very large customers, and we'll talk about some of those examples. So we'll serve a customer as small as a quarter cabinet if you want colocation in one of our facilities. We have an extensive network to be able to bring multiple locations together. We can do that in a traditional way. We can do that in an sd-wan way. We have exceptional IP capabilities. Walt will talk a little bit about our peering capabilities, but given our size and actual exchange of traffic, we have peering at a tier 1 level that we probably shouldn't have a right to have, but we do because of the relationships that we've established a lot through the AMC acquisition. We are a company that prides ourselves on being able to be a one-stop shop. So we can consult with you, we can develop the network solution with you, and we can also help customers move from a traditional co-location environment or an environment in which they're hosting their gear today and move them into a private cloud environment in lieu of, or instead of moving to the public cloud. We know a lot of smaller customers are looking at public cloud. There are a lot of trip falls when you look at public cloud that you don't calculate. Things like the cost of transferring data back and forth or downloading data back and forth. And that is something that we like to talk about because private cloud, we think, can be more secure. We have extensive backup capabilities to be able to talk about with that. And so we're looking to partner with you in that regard as well. A little sense of what we look like in a snapshot. We're headquartered in Norwalk, Connecticut. We have 12 of our own data centers that we operate, but we have 86 network POPs. We've got 400,000 on-net buildings based on the NNIs that we have with effectively every carrier. And as I said, extraordinary IP transit. And we have 7 cloud regions. The most important one here for you would be our facility here in Fort Lauderdale and in Boca. And the cloud region here that's housed in Boca would be the one that would serve you if you want to look at just the local area. But as I said, we're a lot bigger than what Host was, right? So we have network that takes us across the country. But as Walt will talk to you about, we also have examples of customers whom we serve across the globe. And we do that in a way that has applied our architecture and network design capability and also our 24/7 support. So I'll turn it over to Walt.
Thank you, Ray. So hi, everybody. Thank you. I'm just going to touch on the network piece that Ray was just talking about. So I was from the AMC, the Atlantic Metro piece. I was had been there for 8 years prior to 365. So our network is across the entire U.S. Multi-points, redundancy built into it, up and down the East Coast, all the way to the West Coast. One of our clients, which I will touch on later, has brought us internationally. So we actually have network and can service in Tokyo, Singapore, multiple locations in London. So if any international pieces come up with anybody in the room, we can serve that as well. Flip over to the next slide here. So as Ray said, we own and operate 12 data centers that are ours. But we also have space in approximately 30 to 40 other data centers around the globe. So while we own and operate, we also have global contracts with every data center company out there. So we can provide space. We are currently providing space in numerous other data centers. And what I say that it mean is we'll go in and we'll take out a suite. We'll go out and take out 50 to 100 kW, and then we can provide that to your clients. Some of those locations we have shared space, as Ray said, down to quarter, half cabs, full cabs, up to 50 kW. If you need it, we can provide that in multiple locations. So if one of the locations that your client is in is not here in Florida, like as Ray said, we have Tampa, Boca, Fort Lauderdale here in Florida, but your client may already have space in somebody else's data center, right? At Equinix, a CoreSite, Element Critical, any of the other major players. We have network. I guarantee you we have network in those data centers. We could provide network connectivity back to your clients. The below just speaks on to third parties. As I just said, I think it's upwards of 30 data centers now that we have actual space in. So our dedicated internet access, while we are not a tier 1 provider, we have multiple tier 1 upstreams and multiple peering connections. So if you're going straight to one of the tier 1 providers and they go down, you're going to be down. We have multiple. So if we lose one of our major upstream providers, we have redundancy. So we do pass a lot of traffic. We have peering arrangements with everyone. So that's as far as the dedicated internet. We can do point-to-points, layer 2, E-lines, MPLS. Across the board, we can provide any of the network, all the way down to dark fiber. We can do waves. We can do optical wavelengths. Basically any of the network piece we can provide. And how we can provide it is if we can't do it ourselves, because we will pull network in, we'll pull fiber in from the street to light a building. But because we have these NNIs with every major carrier, redundant NNIs across the country, we can take anybody's layer 2 circuit. So if you have a multiple location doctor's offices that needs 100 meg links and they're scattered around in Florida and outside of Florida, well, one carrier may not be able to provide all those. Where we come in is because we can get circuits from anybody. We can get circuits from Zayo, we can get circuits from Lightpath or whomever, the Altice, anybody, bring it back to us. We get layer 2 circuits, we bring it back to our network, we mesh the entire thing together. On top of being able to do that, we also have direct connects to AWS, Azure, Google, so all the major players we have direct connects to. What that means for you guys is you can put one circuit into your client's office. They may be using AWS in the cloud. We can drop a circuit in there, let's say a 100 meg circuit, drop it in there. 50 meg can come back to us for the internet. 50 meg on that same circuit can go to AWS. We enable that as well. So just, it's a way of saving money. You don't have to have 2 different circuits in there. And as I said, we can do wavelengths, fiber. What we got next here? Managed firewall, security, both physical and in the cloud firewalls we can provide and manage for you in our data centers. At the end of a circuit that we're dropping off at the customer's client, we can also provide managed services on that firewall. We have DDoS protection, intrusion protection that we can offer on top of a purchased internet circuit. Back to our internet circuits too is, while we were lit and have all those services in all of our data centers, we could also provide that at any location. So any of your customers' endpoints, we can provide those services there as well. So this touches a little bit on our cloud piece. Excuse me. So while we do provide cloud in our 7 locations, we also can provide dedicated and bare metal servers. One of the clients that I'm going to talk about in a little bit is a huge user of bare metal servers with us. Storage, public cloud, all your typical cloud services, backups, Zerto, or VMware Shop. So all those services, we can provide that for you as well. We have multiple cloud regions, which gives you guys that redundancy. While Ray did say, you probably potentially sell down here, but if you guys have opportunities that take you outside of Florida, we can help you there as well because we are across the U.S. Now this is this little slide just kind of sums up everything. One of the nice advantages is you could have everything basically on one piece of paper, one contract with us. So that could be all services across the board. And even we go into our data center, you'll buy some bandwidth from us, but your client has a recommendation on their SLA that they must have a secondary vendor. Well, we can provide that for you, and it'll be on our contract. So you need a circuit to Comcast, you need a circuit to Zayo, whomever that may be, we can provide that for you as well, and it'll be on our paper. So your client doesn't have to have a bill with Zayo, you guys don't have to worry about getting a quote from Zayo. We'll take care of that, put it on our contract, put it on our service order. Then right to the client examples. So one of the major clients I touched on before about the bare metal servers, they came to us 7 years ago with a request in Virginia for 2 bare metal servers. We sold that to them, it's a $1,500 deal. They have since expanded the bare metal servers to 30 locations, upwards of, I think we're at 1,500 bare metal servers now with them across the globe. Most recently, Chile, Peru, Colombia, we put servers there for them. That's one of the projects with that company. One of the other parts of the company is data center space. They come to us and they put in about 30 to 50 kW each location. That could be 2 to 3 racks. And then they get bandwidth from us. So they get 200 gig circuits from us, 200 gig circuits from a second provider. So as I touched on, we'll go to that market, whether it's here in the States or if it's international, find out who the local provider, if it's Zayo, give me a quote on these 2 circuits. We bundle that right in. Peering exchange, whether it's an Equinix facility or if it's a DKIX, we'll also get the peering. That's that one contract, one company, because these guys and then buy that circuit, those circuits, buy the data center space. It's one bill. Their company not only has to now cut one PO to cover that, so they're not having multiple contracts that they have to deal with. So it's one nice little feature that we can offer there. All those data centers, as I said, are all connected. They're all redundant paths. We provide all that piece for them too. Another client example, and by the way, that customer has grown from $1,500 to upwards of $1 million a month now. So as Ray said, we'll handle the small guys, but we can also handle up to those Fortune 50 clients as well. Another example of something that was completely out of the box. We specialize, Atlantic Metro's specialized was out of the box network. Anything that you could possibly think of, our 2 founders, who by the way are both with the founders of Atlantic Metro, are both executives with 365 now. They moved over and moved up the chain. So, I was happy to, when we got acquired, that they all moved over with us as well. Large car manufacturer came to us with a data center opportunity. 2 data centers had to be within 13 miles apart. And redundant fiber needed to be built into them. We went to 2 different providers, got 200 kW of space from each one of them, built an entire fiber network, because as I said, we do have many partners that we can build the fiber network, built the fiber network back to their offices, and spun them up. Completely out of the box. Why did we win that deal? We absolutely won that deal because of the network capabilities and being able to go above and beyond just a normal, let's be honest, what data centers are able to handle that are close enough together. You're probably not going to find somebody that has 2 data centers that close. So that's a large opportunity that we won there. But like I said, out of the box network opportunities. I know when we kind of asked you guys to raise hands about who's, hopefully everybody's trying to sell some kind of network in the room. Right? It's going to go with everything, whether it's going with the phones or it's going with managed services. It's a need, and I think we can provide that for you. As you said, the host.net guys, we've expanded on the very much success that Host had down here, we've expanded that and then taken that to a global level because we are able to provide services even outside the country. Anything else?
That's good.
Questions?
Questions?
All right.
All right. Very good. Oh, let me introduce Jeb. Jeb is your relationship manager down here, so on a day-to-day basis, be the one that will be making sure that as we start to work together, that we do things the right way.
Are there,
Yeah, right.
a quick question.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Are there like lead-in questions that all the partners or anybody can ask to help identify needs without it being screamed at them, you know what I'm saying?
That's a good
Yeah,
question.
we can definitely provide you something along those lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether you're going, give you something if you're going into potential cloud opportunity, a potential network opportunity, potential data center opportunity, we can give you a list of some questions.
I would just add one thing to that. One thing that I would say that's very easy just to get started is where are your servers? Most of the companies that we're dealing with, if they're at least of a certain size, they have servers somewhere. They might be in their office, they might be in the cloud, they might be scattered around. That's a great question to sort of get into the door to the types of services that we can sell and bundle together with all the network services that he talked about. So where are your servers, right? Yeah.
And we'll participate in those calls with you. So if that's a comfort zone that's not really, something that's in your wheelhouse, we'll make sure that we participate in those calls and those conversations with you to lead you along the way and help generate some revenue for you guys as well.
Right, and once we get to that point too, I mean, we didn't mention this before, but our engineers are up and down all over the country, so we can pull an engineer onto a call, our engineer, our closest engineer he's been in Virginia, he's constantly down here in Florida, so to get an engineer to either be on site at a meeting for you guys or on a phone call, we can have that happen as well.
I am personally available to all of you. That's my job, is to be available to all of you and to facilitate, to get the engineers, to answer those questions. Just get me in the door. That's all you got to do.